After RDA's last fight, how he let Kobe engage him with the wrestling and just constant pressure. I think Usman can do that just as well. I think he's a bit stronger than Kobe. I think he can get the finish. So I'm picking Usman.
Usman. Yeah. I think that Usman is just technically just a better grappler than RDA as far as the top game goes. I don't think that RDA can stop his takedowns, and I think that Colby Covington kind of showed that wrinkle in his game a little bit. I think that Usman's a better version of Colby, and I think his control's better.
Usman. Decision. I don't think that Dos Anjos, his wrestling is too good, and that's primarily what Usman comes in there to do. So I think RDA has spent a lot of time on his back.
I'm really good friends with Kush Usman, and I'm sticking with the wrestlers, man. He's a two-time NCAA Division II national champ. He's a physical specimen. You see that guy; he's got muscles popping out of places where he's supposed to have muscles, and he's got good cardio. He's also an intelligent guy. He knows where to put the fight. He knows when to shoot. He knows when to strike. He's got power in his hands as well. And I think he's just going to be able to dictate that fight. You see what he did with Maia. He was able to not get submitted by Damian Maia. And Maia's bigger. He's going to be able to, I think, manhandle RDA, out-wrestle him, control a fight. I think he beats RDA everywhere.
I think Kamaru Usman's on another level right now. He's kind of up and coming, and he has a good momentum behind him. Solid wrestler, solid striking, very smart in the cage. And Dos Anjos is a really good fighter at that weight class, and he's had some success. But against Colby, he showed a lot of weakness, and Colby had that pressure on him and a lot of wrestling on him, and he wasn't able to deal with it that good. So I'm going to go with Kamaru in that one.
It's kind of a tough call because sometimes Dos Anjos is on and he's, a world beater. But honestly, I feel like Usman in this situation is just going to be a little too big and physical, and he's going to probably grind out a decision.
I see Usman winning. I think he's just going to be too heavy on the grappling, and obviously he's a better wrestler, and the striking has gotten way better. He's also a pretty big guy, so I just see him kind of doing what Colby Covington did to Dos Anjos, but maybe even in better fashion.
I'm going to go with RDA. Really no rhyme or reason or anything. I just like RDA. That's who I'm hoping to win it.
I always feel like every time Rafael Dos Anjos fights, I just feel like he's too small for the division. But people say the same thing about me sometimes. So fuck it. Let's go for Rafael Dos Anjos.
Oh, I like that fight. I think that's a very interesting fight, especially because both guys they're known for, their really good ground games. But I got to go with my man Kamaru Usman. I think his wrestling right now is he's proven like it's almost unstoppable at the welterweight division. I'm Kamaru more than likely by decision, but I would like to say he probably picks up a sub.
I want to say Kamaru. He's up and coming. He's hungry. He's been on a roll. Been looking pretty good. So I'm gonna bet on him.
After seeing the fight against RDA against Covington, I think Usman will be able to pull this fight off, just pressing him with the wrestling and really imposing his will, being a bigger guy going into the fight.
Usman, I think. I think Usman have a better wrestling than Colby, and Colby was able to take Rafael not easily, but
I'm going to go with Dos Anjos. I think that Dos Anjos is one of the scariest fights in the division because he's so good everywhere. He doesn't really have any holes, and I really think that he's one of the hardest fights because, like I said, you can't decide where you're going to go unless you're so elite in one area that where you can just force it there and they can't do anything. But I'm going to go with Dos Anjos. I think that 5-round fight that he can win that easy.